All right, my friends, if you are looking for the go-to businessy, creative, women all-inclusive event, not just women, but we are a very inclusive and safe space for everyone. If you are looking for the best event of 2025, I'm biased, obviously, but Elevate and Inspire is coming back for our second annual event. This is an annual event now. We're going to be doing it every year. And it is happening April 24th and 25th here in Norfolk, Virginia. And that's what we're going to talk about in this episode. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the journey and how we got here. And most importantly, just some inside scoop about the event so you can decide if you want to join us or not. So what do you say? A little behind the scenes, spilling some tea about Elevate and Inspire 2025? Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Messy Success Podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Henson. I help creative business owners and artists build communities around your brand so that business is easy and profitable. When you stay in action, yes, I mean even messy action, only good things happen. We are always learning, and when we can get just as excited about the lessons as the results, magic happens. I've helped million-dollar companies with their marketing, but my mission in this world is to help you step into the best possible version of yourself so you can create your dream business too. We believe in community and people over strategies and tactics. Our theme here at the Messy Success Podcast is the 1% adventure, where we're focusing on getting 1% better every single day. I want you to color outside the lines and embrace the messy journey to take daily action towards your goals. If you've noticed a plateau in your business, we've created a very quick quiz where you can find out your next best move. Head over to elizabethhenson.co/next to find out. Now let's get started. All right, so let's talk about last year's Elevate and Inspire, because this year is going to be very similar. The way I'm looking at it is it was a massive success. Everyone had a great time. The feedback, of course we asked for feedback after, was phenomenal. The only kind of nitpicky feedback we got was around the chair setup, or lunch wasn't long enough, or we should provide breakfast, or whatever it might be. But the feedback around the actual event and the content was incredible. And, you can just feel it. You can feel the energy in the room. If you're really observant and good at reading the room, which some event creators are not, and that's not to toot my own horn. That's just a gift that I've kind of always had, is this ability to navigate in the moment what a room needs, whether it's like 3 people or 20 people, or in this case, 55 people. I feel like I can always kind of just sense when there's like a need to take a break or a need to pivot the exercise or whatever it might be. And this was, a big deal for me. This was the first time I'd done not necessarily an event that big. I mean, it was 55, I would say, is the biggest in-person event I've had. But it was over the span of 2 days versus like, a 2 to 4 hour workshop. I had done workshops in the past that had a pretty good turnout, but never like a full-on 2-day event that required booking a space and, planning itineraries and managing expectations and communicating all the things and guest speakers. And I'm just so incredibly happy and proud of how it turned out. And it was never really my intention to sell my group coaching program. I knew that this would be an opportunity to invite people to work with me, but there was not a lot of effort into, the sales pitch or what I was going to do, because I was so determined to make this the best possible event that I could, that became kind of an afterthought, right? And it exceeded my expectations. We welcomed 9 new members into my signature coaching program. It quantum leaped, my entire year for 2024, but not just me, so many of the attendees. And I'm going to be sharing more from the attendees and from the speakers and experts that are going to be there this year. More to that, more on that is to come. But people met each other at this event, and then they hosted incredible events, and the ripple effect is just so beautiful of relationships that were made. This is a community-driven event, meaning that it is not just me up there teaching the whole time. I do teach a little bit, and we do talk about some marketing strategies and some leadership hacks, but it is very interactive. Last year we did a whiteboard on the these big like floor to ceiling whiteboards, and you could do an ask and you could do a give. And throughout the event, we would be pairing people up based on their ask and their give, and pulling prizes for people that took action, pulling prizes for people that solved their problem or whatever their main intention was when they get to the event, prizes for taking action or solving that problem. And that's one of my favorite parts, is to like pull the cards for the prizes and read what people learned or said or what they felt called to share. So fun. So if you feel called to donate a prize or, to get involved in some way, please reach out to me. We have a few sponsorship spots left. And, between now and the event, I will be just gathering prizes, purchasing prizes, all the things. It's really one of my most fun parts is, just giving so much to these amazing human beings that, they invest to come to the event, but it's only $297. To me, the value is that they have given their time and energy to be there, right? Like, what a beautiful gift. Time is our greatest asset. And for people to commit 2 days of their time to spend with me and this community is such a treasure. And I don't take that for granted. And we just have so much fun. And this year we are going to be doing some kind of mocktail hour or gathering on the 23rd. Last year, what we did is we had like a little pizza party at the beach house for some of the speakers and sponsors and some of my students and team members that were staying at the beach house. But this year I was like, I really want to do something at the venue so that more people can come, so that we can have the room set up the night before because we stay off site about 40 minutes away from the venue. So it's really nice to not have to be there as early. So I'm really excited to incorporate some type of event on the 23rd in the afternoon/evening, to be determined what that exactly will be. And then we have our VIP day on Saturday. So the event is Thursday, Friday, the 24th and 25th of April. And then we have a VIP day Saturday at the beach house, which is like really small, intimate. We're going to debrief. We're going to organize everything that we've learned and our action items. And it's really fun. And I decided that this year it will still be somewhat of a mastermind day, but it's going to be more of like a retreat vibe with like some self-care and some slowing down, and that I don't have to be the facilitator of all things. And that's why I love bringing in the speakers and the experts because I love to put people in the room who complement or are better or smarter than me in certain areas, right? Like, we're really limiting our attendees when we're only giving them one voice, when we can give them multiple voices and multiple resources, but not be overwhelming. I've been to some conferences where it's just like non-stop content, right? And you leave and you're like, I've got all these to-do lists and all this content to consume, and I almost feel more overwhelmed than when I walked in. And that is not this. The goal is that you leave feeling like business is simple and that you've really distilled down all this overwhelm and all these to-do lists into something simple, a way of being, right? Like, what characteristics are you wanting to take on to become the next best version of yourself as a business owner? And we almost are going to like hop timelines at this event, right? So right now you're living into a certain future. Probably whatever you're doing on a daily basis is just going to continue to repeat unless you make some changes, right? It's like if you're flying an airplane and you've put in the coordinates to your destination, you're just going to go to that destination. But if you change the coordinates ever so slightly, you're going to end up somewhere completely different. So this event is like your opportunity to change your coordinates so that you can like hop on to this next version of yourself, this next layer of success. And that's what it's all about. And we have so much fun, community interaction, prizes, speakers, experts. But there's also this beautiful, slower pace, if I can say it that way. You know, I think so much of our society and the content and social media and events these days are like, how much can we cram into a short amount of time? And you're there, it's like your cup is just like overflowing and not necessarily in a good way, right? Whereas like we want to like have portion control and deep conversations and everyone in the room feeling seen and feeling heard. And this is possible. My mentor has an event of 1,000 people, and he still has this ability that everyone in the audience feels seen, heard, and important, right? And that can be done. And we can slow down in order to speed up our progress, right? Because it's not about doing all the things. It's not about being on all the social media channels and, you know, posting 6 times a day. It's who do we need to become? And how can we just be sure that we're rowing in the direction of who we want to become rather than what we really think needs to be done right now in this moment, right? It's really changing that narrative and that way of being. And I love it. I live for this stuff. It's so great. So I will be announcing the speakers and the experts very soon. My students and community members will be in the room. It's going to be really fun to bring some people on stage that were in the room last year and just hear their wins and how much they've grown and their success stories. I'm really just scratching the surface of the planning, and it's so great. So by the time this episode goes live, we'll be done with our early bird sales. But just for those of you listening to this podcast episode, if you want to register for Elevate and Inspire, we are already about halfway full. So seats are very limited. That means there's about 20 to 30 seats left because while the space can hold 100, I'm very, very hesitant to have that many. I'm really aiming for just a hair more than last year. Last year we had 55. So, I would be ecstatic to have 60 or 65. And we are already close to halfway there. Especially by the time this goes live, I can imagine that we will be halfway there. So don't wait. Get your ticket if you have any interest in coming. You can go to elizabethhenson.co/event and use the code ElevateFriends, and you can get $100 off. And I will know that you listened to this podcast episode, or that you have a friend on the inside, because that's our code for our insiders, our friends, our community members. So elizabethhenson.co/event, and then the coupon code is ElevateFriends, and you can get your ticket for $100 off while those coupons last. There's not an infinite amount of them. So I hope that you will join us April 24th and 25th in Norfolk, Virginia. It's going to be amazing. Whether you're local or whether you're traveling, people last year came all the way from California, Boston, Tennessee, Florida, Seattle, Arizona. I mean, people traveled from all over for this event, and it doesn't even feel real as I'm saying that out loud. I'm like, they traveled that far to come to my event? That doesn't feel real. It still doesn't. But it is real because it happened. And I imagine people will be traveling in this year. We already have Denver, Boston, Washington State. I'm not sure if we have a California yet, but I'm sure we will. So more to come on that. Thank you guys for being here, for listening. We are going to get into some really fun episodes as we lead into the event. I typically have the speakers on the podcast beforehand, so you can kind of get to know them and some of the sponsors. And this is the most fun part now that I've booked the space. It is going to be at the same place as last year. And our beach house, like now that like the hard big legwork is done, I can really get into the fun nitty gritty planning. And while I'm doing my best to stay out of the news and stay out of the political drama, it is very important to me that you understand that we are a safe and inclusive environment for all human beings. And anything other than that, you don't have to come, is all I will say. But this is a safe place for you to be fully expressed as exactly who you are. And that is very important to me. And I really do plan on having some fun little surprises so that all of my beautiful human beings and community members feel comfortable being exactly who they are. So thank you guys so much. I love you as always. Thank you for listening and just for being here at the Messy Success the Messy Success Podcast. 2025 is off to a great start, and my heart could not be more happy and honored and excited and all the things. So thanks for pushing play today, and I'll see you guys soon.